Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Klass Regg.
I'm Taurian B.
How we feeling today, brother? Let's see the shirt.
Oh, Andre 3000, kind of, keeping it in theme.
Yes.
For the, we about to rep A-Town,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
so,
very much. TV. I wanted to talk about TV a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What you been watching? I know Snowfall just ended. I'm not up to date.
Snowfall, Wu-Tang, Succession.
Mm-hmm.
What else am I watching? Yellowstone.
Okay. Yeah, you actually been campaigning for that for a little minute.
Yeah, Yellowstone. I don't know. I guess it's basically just Succession in the Wild Wild West.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what else here. What else I got here? Obviously, I watch wrestling weekly, but that's just never ending. That just never ends.
I'm slowly creeping back into the wrestling world.
And the NBA playoffs have begun. So my Lakers.
Yeah.
We made it. A lot of people doubted us. A lot of people said we wouldn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
We here. As of right now, the series is 1-1.
Okay.
There's a particular player, I won't even say his name. Actually, no, fuck Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks that plays for the Memphis Grizzlies. I hate that bitch. I swear to God, if Dylan Brooks wakes up with a career-ending knee injury, I would not be sad.
Damn,
I fucking hate him.
How old is Dylan Brooks?
I don't even know, bro. He look about 55, but I think he's like 28, 27.
Yeah.
He just needs some respect put on him. He talks a lot of shit, plays a lot of mind games. Mm-hmm. He's very much. You could tell that he tries to take the role of like a bad guy.
Yeah,
he's tough. He's not tough.
Okay. So in other words,
you're not tough.
It's not like he's restoring the film.
He ain't restoring the film. He just talks a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. It's basically he's saying everything that people would like a lot. But he ain't got that Detroit Pistons, New York Knicks, old school 80s, early 90s energy. He ain't about that. He not, you know what I'm saying? He not Ron Artest, Zach Rudolph,
mm-hmm.
Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes. He ain't that kind of guy.
He's not in that bag.
He's not that kind of guy, man. I got a bag of dudes in the NBA that I just like Doug Christie. I fucking hate Doug Christie.
Doug Christie?
I never liked him. Never liked him. He used to guard Kobe too hard.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. I figured that's.
I ain't like him. Bruce Bowen, Raja Bell. It was a list of them motherfuckers, man. I respected Tony Allen, but I respected Tony Allen, but I ain't like him either. Bruce Bowen was fucking pesty. Just a list of guys, man. But I'll say Dylan Brooks, he really even what he do with his hair. He just dressed like a motherfucker you don't want to
like. Oh man. As far as I think, what have I been watching? I've been talking about Barry a lot. How have you been doing with that?
So I started the second season. Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying it. I think, and obviously, I can relate to it. I understand it. It's in the world of acting, mm-hmm. and all right. I want to go back. I want to go back to the first season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was something that stood out to me about Barry in the first season. I guess we could talk about it. Well, you're all the way caught up. I'm not, but I want to talk about something that had stood out for me from the first season. When he goes up to Fonzie. Mm-hmm. And he's telling Fonzie yo, I want to do it. He's like, you ain't got it. And it's I realized it's some old cliche acting teacher thing where they say nah, you suck, don't do it. And then he literally just tells him the truth of what he does.
Yeah.
Yo, I fucking kill people. I'm a murderer. And he was like, that was the realest thing you've ever said.
Yeah.
All right. Pay me early. I was like, this scam artist teacher. But that stood out to me, and I was like, all right, cool. They're getting some of it, but I think I could finish it. I think I could finish it in 3 days because when I binge watch, I just watch television no matter what I'm doing. So if I'm cooking, cleaning the house, I just put it on my laptop or when I'm playing a video game, I put it on my laptop and I listen to it while I play the video game, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I can get through it. So I think I can get through it in the next 3 days.
Yeah, it's for me legit is one of HBO's best shows. It's up there. And HBO has great quality shows already. So that's actually not really saying much because they have great shows already. But it's the story building and where Barry ends up from where he started is just so dark and it's so good. Like you kind of forget that you're watching such a dark tale because there's comedy in it too. And then when you see some dark shit go off, it's like, oh shit, like you kind of lock in different. So I really like that element of it. What else have I been watching? Oh, I watched that Power Rangers thing, that Power Rangers reunion.
So like make me understand it. So basically what they did was to explain, I'm sorry that we spoiled this, guys. You should have watched it. Mm-hmm. To explain that the Rangers that aren't there, they just killed them off in the beginning.
So Trini's story, Trini was the original Yellow Ranger from like the early 90s. She died tragically in like, I believe it was a car crash.
Yeah, car crash
back then. And they kind of never really told her story. So like now the way that they tell her story in the fold of the show is that they were in a fight with Rita, and Rita kind of like blasts her. Rita in the fold of this Netflix special, she comes back and she has like a robot face now. Like it's like another version of it's another version of her, and she's been through a lot of shit. But now her big fold is to like go back and tell her younger self all the shit that she learns from like this current time, and then erase the Rangers from ever existing type shit. Right? But anyway, they were in a fight, and what's meant to be killing Billy, Trini jumps in and she kills Trini.
Saves herself from Billy.
Exactly. And
you fucking dog ass writers.
Yeah. And so she gets killed. And then come to find out she has a daughter, and the daughter wants to avenge obviously her mom. Yeah. It's a lot of cheese. It's a lot of cheese.
I feel like it's cheese, but I guess they said it like as like they continue being Rangers, but they were teenagers.
Yeah. They were teenagers. And so they play off the fact that they are older now, they look older. I just actually liked that Zach got his moment to be on screen, because even back then, by the time they made it to the big screen, Zach wasn't in the fold anymore.
Yeah. I mean, is everybody man.
And then but then like the obvious thing that holds it back from being great is obviously Tommy had nothing to do with it. Kimberly had nothing to do with it. Mm-hmm. And so the way that they wrote it,
so you're not going to like shout out my man, the original Red Ranger, because he's fat now?
Oh yeah, he wasn't in it either.
Because he's not in shape. He didn't want to do it. And even Kimberly, both of them said that they won't look good.
They didn't want to do it. Yeah. So and that sucks, because it's like, man, they're such a big part of the show, and the way that they wrote it was like that they're still there, but they just didn't unmax them, and it was just stupid. And it's just like damn, like why did y'all do it like that? Like y'all shouldn't have even did this if y'all couldn't have them.
I feel like they should have worked out a deal. They could have just did voiceovers and not taken off the helmets.
Yeah. But even that wouldn't have been enough. They just shouldn't have did it. But I still enjoyed watching it. I was really up until like 11:30, just on my couch, like, yo, this is. I just enjoyed watching it because of the nostalgia.
Yeah, I didn't need to watch it. I saw that you were watching it. And I saw that Mouse was watching it. Yeah, I was like, all right, this is all. I like to one of my friends about it.
So, it was a big nostalgia trip for me. It was really, I respected it in that sense. I haven't been up to date on Snowfall, but how do you feel about the ending?
I thought it was perfect. I thought, like, a lot of people are saying that John Singleton wouldn't have made this ending, but I absolutely think John Singleton would have made this ending. Mm-hmm. It's just, if you're as big as a fan of Boys in the Hood as I am, I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. I know season 4 turned a lot of people off, but season 5 they definitely redeemed themselves. Mm-hmm. The writing team, because John Singleton is no longer with us. Rest in peace, John Singleton. But like, yeah. It was like full circle, like wow, and it's a cautionary tale. Like I think people miss, like, obviously, like we would like to see a lot of things be happy endings, and I hope this is not be spoiled too much, but these are the pitfalls of dealing drugs,
that lifestyle, yeah.
And I think that this one was just way more ironic than anything. That's what I'll give about that.
So from seeing how shit ended up, for him, with how it started out with his dad from the first season, I do remember that. Mm-hmm. And seeing the parallels of that was really good writing. to see how he kind of looked down on how his father ended up to actually being like how his father was to end it off.
Yeah, because you can't not see the pictures that they're posting on social media. Yeah, it's just one of those unfortunate things where it's just like, damn, like you became what you despised and everything like that, and you know, like had nothing to show for it. And then to think about it like this, what I say is I'm trying not to give too much away, but you would think you know when you see something like that and you realize that the government gets involved, you think that you're such a big fish, but like and you learn that you're literally nothing.
Yeah.
Like you're not like when you're no use to them, like you're nothing to them. So I think that was a very very big reveal in the show.
Yeah,
that's what I said. Hope I kept.
I'm a lock in. I gotta watch that. It's a lot of shit on my docket, man. There's so much good TV that I just been putting off. But I do have to tap in. I gotta watch it because I know it's a great show. Obviously, it's a great
Welcome to Rap in Order, the interrogation of a hip-hop album, where we take some of the culture's most beloved hip-hop albums, put them on the stand, see if they stood the test of time. Now let's see who we got on the stand today.
Dun dun.
Moving on from TV, getting into music, specifically the album that we're getting into today, Trap Muzik. Trap Muzik came out in 2003. Big year for me for music, and the albums that came out that year. This was T.I.'s second studio album. Followed up his debut, I'm Serious, which was exceptional, but it wasn't like the big grand gesture that he wanted it to be. So like I feel like he went in and he listened to, he went in and he saw how I'm Serious was received, kind of had that chip on his shoulder. And I feel like if you know T.I.'s discography at all, he kind of works best when he has that chip on his shoulder. And he showed that time and time again going forward. Trap Muzik was more than exceptional. He had better production on this, you know, regardless of having some Neptune production on the first one. He had better production on this. He sounded better. The backing was there intentionally. I feel like, I think I read somewhere when he was coming out with the first album, how he was talking about trap music and L.A. Reid just didn't get it and was like, yeah, I can't grasp what you're trying to do here. And he kind of put him on the back burner and focused on other shit on the label. And it showed because he didn't really get that much traction with that album. But when this album came out initially, when I heard 24s, I knew it was something different. I knew he was going to be around. And I kind of knew about T.I. before that because I used to read a lot of Source back then too. And he was like always in the Source. Even though I didn't hear much of his music back then, I just knew about him. So like 24s was like that staple that I knew. I was like, all right, this nigga got it. What did you think when his album came out? Were you in New York?
I moved to Atlanta that summer, so that was summer of 2002. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so summer 2002, I moved to Atlanta. 24s was already out and like everywhere. Lo and behold, I had moved there. My cousin Ashana, she always would give me like a box of like CDs from her job. Mm-hmm. So I had I'm Serious. And like I listened to that, and Dope Boys in the Trap was like one of my favorite songs by him. But I didn't connect it like, oh, like he's actually like really popular because like on the cover he had on feelers and shit. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, I don't know, I didn't feel too confident about liking that. Yeah, I'm sorry. No disrespect to people that like feelers, but yeah. So when I moved down there, like everybody like he was like a big deal. So I was like, oh, he is a big deal because you know when you think of Atlanta, you think Jermaine Dupri, Outkast, Goody Mob, and Ludacris was on the come up, and crunk music was growing at that time, right? So when I moved to Atlanta and like all of this stuff was like happening, I'm learning like, okay, like T.I. is like Jay-Z down here. Yeah. Like Lil Jon is basically like creating this new sound that like is about to take over the country, and Ludacris is becoming like a crossover star. Mm-hmm. Like so Atlanta pretty much had everything that you need for a city to have like the trifecta of hip hop. Like so they had like these new pillars that were carrying the torch that like Jermaine Dupri, Goody Mob, and Outkast like all carry before them, right? So I'm like learning like, oh shit, like this dude like T.I. is on the come up, and like he's like homegrown local from the city, and it was him and Killer Mike that everybody thought was gonna like really like blow.
Yeah.
Because like they were both like local kids, like they went to like the Atlanta City public high schools and like were just like known. So hearing this project, like I thought it was dope because it was I'm not comparing the projects, but it was the second time that I was able to. It was the second time since Reasonable Doubt where I was able to like look at my surroundings and see things and actually like be aware of what's going on and know what they're referencing and know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. So like that's a comparison and that's where it stops. Like I'm not comparing to Reasonable Doubt. What I'm saying is that hearing it and like knowing like, okay, I'm going to Bankhead where my boy Willie Miles lived and like being around his area, like and seeing like, oh shit, so this is what a trap is. That's another thing. Like learning what the fuck a trap was, right?
Yeah.
And like how like that word now has been like weaved into like our pop culture and vocabulary and how like it bothers me that people use this shit so wrong. Right? But like understanding like, wow, like okay, like this is what a trap house is. Like this is where like people would just be and like they're making money and everything like that. Understanding the whole point of the rubber bands and like knowing like, okay, like that's another thing that's similar to New York. Most niggas in New York, like they got rubber bands around their wrists and they got big bellies. You see those niggas, like those are more than likely are the motherfuckers who's making money, right? Fat niggas with rubber bands around their wrists. Obviously there's a couple in shape dudes and everything like that, but like that was like a sign that somebody was making money. So knowing that this album was on the horizon, me doing my homework and finding out like what happened at Arista and like why it didn't work because like they wanted him to look like, you know, Goody Mob and all them. T.I. was clean cut, short haircut, wore polo shirts, was lyrical. They told me he had to like dumb down his shit, and that's how we even got 24s. He was too lyrical. He was doing too much for the masses and everything like that. And the fact that like T.I. was able to like really like better himself, ask for a release out of that, go to the next label, Atlantic, I believe, and basically look at their landscape and say, oh, I could dominate. If y'all gave Nappy Roots 4 videos, like think about that, like, because Nappy Roots was all over the place.
Nappy Roots was on fire at that time.
He looked at it and said, y'all gave him 4 videos? Oh, I'm about to rob y'all. He's like, so like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think like he just knew, he believed in himself, he bettered himself, and like, you know, him and his partner Jason Jeter and DJ Toomp and like the rest of his Grand Hustle team, like they really, really, really like grinded. And like I just seeing everything like kind of like happen like in real time, like in Atlanta, like they have Athlete's Foots everywhere, like their franchise sneaker stores, and like seeing T.I. pull up at an Athlete's Foot one time and like buy everybody sneakers.
Wow, Athlete's Foot! I still remember their logo too. It was like blue and yellow.
Right. So like seeing that and like knowing like, oh shit, like Tip, like, you know what I'm saying, like he's really like amongst like the people. Yeah. So truly, that's why like when he would make certain statements like King of the South and things like that, like I'm like, yo, he really is the people champion. Yeah. He's really doing it.
He would always and I like when rappers do that, right? Because they have something to live up to when they do say shit like that. Like King of the South and Wayne saying best rapper alive, and him first saying that on that song Bring It Back with him and Manny Fresh. That's when he first said it. And everybody was like, wait, what? And you know, you get an ears perk up moment, but then from that moment, you gotta prove it. Yeah, you gotta prove it. And I feel like what Tip was doing at this time, it put a lot of eyes on him when he said it. But then Trap Muzik is such a special album because, you know, even looking back now, because the word trap is so dominant in pop culture now, and it's a sound now. I feel like back then, you know, he like, in a way, like he made the phrase, you know, cross over, but I feel like it means something a lot different now than what it originally was.
Which is disappointing. I think they should call it something else because, well, I'll just talk about it now. I feel like an old man waving my hand at the cloud, but like trap, the trap music that we have now is basically like dance or like EDM music. With like 808 drums and like them, you know, sometimes they'll rap about shit in the trap, but like a lot of times like, it's not even what they're doing because, but like we have like, you know, Metro Boomin, we have like what Future, Metro Boomin, and Young Thug do, right? and who else? Playboy Cardi do, right?
Mhm.
But then you have like DJs like that like just make beats. And like they're like and they call it trap beats and like that's what like drives me crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
More so than everything because it's like I think like Future and like Metro Boomin and them like understand what like you know what I'm saying. But
Oh,
like
for sure.
I'm talking about like the DJs. Like it shouldn't be called trap, and I think whoever did that is a fucking asshole.
Yeah, and I think it's just but it's one of those things too that got when it gets so big and it crosses over in pop culture, things just shift.
Yeah,
right. So like even like the definition of pop has changed.
That's true.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of just like the whole like you can't see me thing with John Cena and Tony Ayo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true too.
Right? Like obviously like John Cena has acknowledged it beyond like like beyond to no end.
He went on like Jimmy Fallon and said what he got.
And said and like he's always told that story. He's never done revisionist history, and that's why like a part of the reason why I love him. But like because so many people see John Cena do it, and John Cena is such a megastar.
Yeah. They
still say to John Cena, "You can't see me."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I guess that's where it is. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It just really does bother me that like
that's something
with with trap music when it comes to that conversation. Like I know the difference because I know, but some people don't.
Yeah, that's true. So in the fold of trap music, it received some really great reviews when it came out. Complex even named it one of the best albums one of the classic albums of the last decade from when it came out. The album debuted at number 4 and sold 110,000 copies. Now, when you put that in the fold, 110,000 copies today would be a number 1 album.
Yes.
Sales wise, that's just incredible, and it showed like his content and the value of it was only going up. Because Tip was like making his way into those conversations, whether people liked it or not. This album had 4 lead singles, 4 successful singles, I should say. It started off with 24s, and you have Be Easy, and then Rubber Band Man, and Let's Get Away with Jazzy Faye. Let's get into what your highlights are on this album.
All right. So I also wanted to highlight something. Get Rich or Die Trying came out February of 2003. Trap Music came out August 2003. And like that was like the shift change of like everything happening, like because like 50 Cent, like that was like the last like stand of like New York, and obviously like his run lasted until like 2007, 50, right? But like once Trap Music came out, the South took over, like that was it, like the South, like in Trap Music, if you think about it, like even from like a sound standpoint, like the sounds that came out of Trap Music is kind of like what like ushered in what we was about to get. Because like remember like then we got Bone Crusher, we got more Little John. Like there was so many things that was like coming. Gangsta Girls mixtapes was because T.I. and DJ Drama were heavily involved. Like DJ Drama was signed to Grand Hustle. Like there's a lot that came like that people don't think about that came from trap music. That like kind of like pushed a lot of things forward, right? So I just wanted to say that, but you know, and acknowledge that. But some of the highlights from this album, right? I'll give it to you right now. I wrote them down, guys. Let's see. Did I? Or maybe I didn't. 2 hours. Bear with me. Oh, yes, I did. I just kept writing. Doing My Job, 24s, Rubber Band Man, Look What I Got, I Still Love You. Let Me Tell You Something, T.I. versus Tip, Bezel, and Be Better Than Me are my favorite songs. Some of my, and I'll even like mention my dislikes. Let's Get Away, I'm not a Jazzy Faye fan.
What?
It's less about T.I. and more about Jazzy Faye and the sample. Originally the sample was supposed to be Daydreaming by Aretha Franklin. So I don't know, maybe it's that and No More Talk.
Okay. I thought No More Talk was sad. Well, I actually like both of those songs. There's very little on this album that I don't like.
Yeah, just those 2.
Very little on this album I don't like.
And truthfully, like, it's really No More Talk. Because Let's Get Away, I just don't like Jazzy.
Okay.
Fizzle, fizzle.
Fizzle, fizzle.
Yeah.
I think he had a very big moment when he was out. So I'll say for me, obviously 24s. I distinctly remember when I heard 24s for the first time. I was in the lunchroom at school. I think I was in 10th grade when this came out. right? Yeah. Yeah.
24s?
Yeah. I was in 10th grade. That was 2003.
Okay.
Yeah. I was in 10th grade when that came out. And I remember hearing it like, yo, this is about to be, and it was different in Detroit because everybody had the biggest cars, like the flashiest whips.
Mm-hmm.
The bass in everybody's car was always immaculate. So like I would hear this on a different level, and I just fell in love with it. Doing my job was big for me too because it's just like it's such a great story, like of him trying to do his own thing, like while not being in anybody's way. And just trying to stick to a solid plan and be official.
Mm-hmm.
His flow is amazing. It's a Kanye West beat.
Yeah.
Very early Kanye beat. What else did I love on here? I loved Rubber Band Man. Rubber Band Man is when I knew he would like actually really be around because of the quality of the video. You had Diddy in it. You had Lil Duval. You had just like the quality. Like his mink coat, they were standing outside of a Phantom. It was like the flex was just crazy.
Nah, you could tell like you could tell that when like the success of 24s, right? Because he put a, like you could tell that he probably, this is just me understanding the industry. He probably got the budget to do 2 videos, so he did 24s, right, and that was successful, and then he did Be Easy.
Mm-hmm.
24s did so good. They was like, yo, you can do 2 more. And then they were just like, all right, fuck it, do Rubber Band Man. That's going to take it off right now.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I tell you that Be Easy, like, it was like a blip. Like, Be Easy got, like, maybe 2 weeks run.
Yeah, and Be Easy is a classic T.I. song.
Son.
Yeah.
I was just like, yo, like, wow. Like, all right. Like, damn.
And Bezel. Bezel is another one that I love on here. Where he's balling MJG and Bun B.
Mm-hmm.
Tip has this thing that he does when he works with OGs that, like, you can really hear and feel the appreciation that he has for them. Like Front Back that he did with UGK.
Yeah.
Like, he has those songs that are like knockers that he does with people better before him.
I got a good Pimp C story too.
Oh yeah, I gotta hear it. So he has a way of just showing love that a lot of artists just don't have. What would you want to say?
So when he was saying that he was the king of the South, like there's people that he said he made sure he spoke to like everybody he could speak to.
Mm-hmm.
Only person that he couldn't get in contact with was Pimp C.
Mm-hmm.
So like he spoke with Bun and like Bun was like, well, what the fuck are you like? What the fuck am I? And he was like, listen, like nobody's ever like called himself king of the South. He said there's a song where Mystical called himself the Prince of the South. And T.I. like got challenged by his boy, like, you won't call yourself king. He was like, why the fuck I won't? Anybody else call himself king of the South?
Yeah, everybody was calling himself the Prince, even fucking Lil Scrappy.
The Prince of Crunk, right.
Yeah.
So he said, like, I'm gonna do it. And he said, and the funny thing is Bun B, like, who's actually like, very diplomatic, felt the way. Mm-hmm. And like T.I. spoke to him about it, was like, there's no disrespect, like I'm up next, like, and I'm about to do this. And T.I. said that he also had a conversation with Killer Mike, and they was like the two about to come up next. So Killer Mike got his deal with Big Boy, and he was over there with Dungeon Family. So like everybody assumed that Killer Mike was going to be the one that was going to take off, but it was T.I. Like they was like friends, they was like rivals in high school, all that shit. So they was cool. And like on the song, like basically T.I. says is like basically he said that only like 4 other people could like fuck with him lyrically like right now. But like it was like him like basically like fucking around, so like people couldn't guess who it was, but like he really only felt like it was him and Killer Mike. Now he wanted to go out his way to talk to Pimp C. Pimp C was at Stankonia Studios, and they was like, "Yo, we need you to get on this song, like because we trying to make sure like you know all the pillars of the South." And Pimp C said, "I ain't got time for that, little boy," and kept it moving. And like T.I. like he was like, how could I feel away? Like, look how long it took. Like everybody already knew the story of Big Pimpin', so nobody took it personally. And then like he went to jail anyway. And then eventually, like you know, him and Pimp C, like he proved himself to Pimp.
He came out and shit.
But like it was like basically T.I. said it was like a rite of passage. Like if Pimp C don't disrespect you, then like. And I was like, I don't know if I can handle some shit like that, like being blown up by somebody else, my idol, and basically saying I'm a nobody. That's just like what Pimp C said. He had a problem with Jeezy saying that he was getting birds in 17.5. They said till the day he died, like Pimp C kept saying, I gotta get next to Jeezy and talk to him about this birds. like nigga, why are you so worried about it?
I think that's what people liked about Pimp C though, because like he seemed like a super solid person.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed like everything that he said, or people that was around him saying shit, he wanted them to be authentic with it. So he would actually check people.
Yeah, I just think that's bad funny. Like somebody being like, yo, I got a blue car and a red car. Pimp C, like that nigga is lying.
That nigga is lying and it's orange. The fuck is he talking about?
Yeah.
But no, there's getting back even into the fold of this, like it's just a lot of moments on here that I fuck with. Like even the songs that I don't really like that much. Like what was another one? Look What I Got. Look What I Got. Like the song is a little but the chorus is amazing. And I think T.I. is really good at that. Like where if there's a song that I'm not really like that keen on, the chorus is tied together for me.
I can't believe it. Like I love Look What I Got. My one thing that I have a problem with, I think I Can't Quit should be the last song on the album.
You think I Can't Quit should be?
Yeah.
Okay.
I Can't Quit should have been the last song. The placement is wrong and it should have just been the last song on the album.
Okay.
I really, really like and the reason why I say that is because like you got the last song, Long Live the Game.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it to be the ending
mm-hmm.
of the album. I think I Can't Quit should have came after Be Better Than Me, which I thought was really dope. You know, like it was basically like an open letter to his sons.
Yeah. And yeah, you said to his what?
To his sons.
Yeah. And also to the success or unsuccess of I'm Serious. He talked about that on I Can't Quit.
Yeah.
And kind of overcoming that to being where he was heading.
Mm-hmm.
T.I. versus T.I.P. is kind of prophecy in a sense of like hip hop's incoming obsession with alter egos.
Yeah.
He was like at partially the beginning of that resurgence, like the resurgence at least for the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Because it became like a fucking obsession with everybody. Everybody just saying, "Oh, this is me now," but like I also have this other side of me. Like it was so captivating for everybody.
Who are some of your favorite rap alter egos?
Fucking T.I.'s was good. I think Justin Bieber had one. You remember Justin Bieber's?
No, I don't, and I did not think you was going to say his fucking name.
I just thought about it. It was Shawty Mane. He would rap. He would go on different radio stations and rap, and he had a remix to Speak in Tongues to Vado shit, and he went off.
Son, I did not think I did not think that was not the name.
That's what popped up in my head. And but earlier time, you know, I'm glad Beyonce don't do the Sasha Fierce shit no more. She just left that alone. Who do you got?
Rappers? I got a few,
rappers.
Man. Slim Shady.
Okay,
is one of my favorites.
Yeah, Slim Shady's great. Actually.
Wolf Haley for Tyler the Creator.
Okay.
Roman Zelensky for Nicki Minaj.
Nicki.
Shock G and Humpty Hump.
Oh yeah. Taking It Back. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta name that one.
Future Hendrix.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
And Tina Snow.
Okay.
For Megan.
But then those are like...
That's an alter ego.
Yeah, but they blur the lines of like they real content because it's like they aren't like as different.
No, like Megan says like I'm about to get my Tina Snow bag. Like she lets it be known when she's gonna do that. And then we got Jay with like, you know, Jigga and Jehovah.
Yeah.
So I always liked how every Wu-Tang member has one. So.
Yes, yeah. Every Wu-Tang member does have one, and it's distinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my last one is AZ Sosa.
Okay, I see that.
I don't know how much AZ you listen to.
I don't listen to him
like
that much.
But like there's really an AZ and there's really a Sosa. Like he's really on some Slim Shady shit.
I know. I mean, I know Nas says Esco and shit like that, but like, is there like a distinct difference
between? I mean, yeah, like Esco is like he's talking that flashy fly shit, just like when you got Biggie and you got Frank White.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
the Frank White one makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah, like Frank White, King of New York, like you know, Nas like he wanted to be, you know, Big Willie Esco, like that's like when Nas like Esco is Omi.
Okay.
That's like Hate Me Now, like shit like that. That's Esco.
Yeah. Okay, I get that.
Yeah, man. Just, I was really excited to talk about these shit. Like,
I didn't know.
Last thing, Mac Miller has like 8.
Yes, he does. Larry Fisherman,
Delusional Thomas, Easy Mac, Larry
Easy
Loverstein,
Mac Cheesy Raps,
and who else? Oh, and then last one, MF Doom, and then his real name is Daniel Dumale.
Yeah.
I never knew MF Doom's real name. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not an OG fan.
But yeah, that's a solid list of some. I went blank. I couldn't think of that many, to be honest, on the spot.
I'm sorry,
but let's see. What do we have here? As far as the production on here, right? So we named Kanye, we named Jazzy Faye, DJ Toon.
DJ Toon needs to be celebrated more.
Yeah, they really built and capitalized on their on their chemistry with this album and the albums that were to follow. Like it only got better from here, honestly. And David Banner is another person that like really got heavy into his producer bag around this time.
David Banner and Kanye were the only other. I didn't like. All right, the Sanchez guy was cool, but like, I really was cool if DJ Toon would have did this whole album. Obviously, what David Banner and Kanye contributed was great, but like I'm like, damn, like I wanted more Toon on this album.
Yeah. I actually always want more Toon on people's albums. Yeah, like man. his sound quality is just so grand. It's like it's a big deal for him.
Fuck, I almost forgot. Yeah. So I didn't realize this, but Kanye went to Atlanta to do the 2 tracks with them. And apparently he played, like, this was like, you know, still his growing times, and he played Jesus Walks with them. And T.I., and like Toon was like, yo, like, this might work. And, like, T.I. was one who told him, like, I don't think this is going to work for you playing it. And, like, it worked out. And, like, it also was, like, the beginning of, like, Toon's relationship with Kanye. And, like, them working together and everything like that. So I thought that was really cool.
You heard the story that Jeezy told, right? About Toon and about Can't Tell Me Nothing.
Yeah, Toon was pissed.
Yeah. That was hilarious. I think, well, basically, Jeezy said that he had the opportunity of, I think it was working with Kanye.
Yeah.
And it didn't pan out for whatever reason. They had a song that was supposed to come out that didn't come out. Kanye asked him if he could still use it, but he ended up only taking the ad-libs from I Got Money.
Yeah.
And putting it on Can't Tell Me Nothing and made it sound completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jeezy just heard it when it came out, when it was already like fire. And was like, fuck. Like, I could have been on that.
Yeah. Like, that's it. Like, that would annoy me too. Like, wait a second, you just chopped up my whole fucking song. Yeah. I could have gave you the stems. Like, that's what Toon's beef was. Toon was like, yo, all you had to do was ask me, and I could have gave you everything you needed. Like, you literally made this a new song, and it's not even it doesn't even sound as good as it could because you don't have the fucking stems.
Yeah. And that was the fucking genius of it to me. That shit sounded. That's one of Kanye's best songs.
Yeah.
But anyway, in the fold of this, obviously we got a chance to see the artist that T.I. became.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of groundwork on this album, and I think that's why I fuck with it so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling a very high rating for myself on this.
Well, there's one last track that I wanted to talk about that like really kind of like sold things for me, and it was I Still Love You.
Yes.
Because there's 3 verses on here, and like the first
produced by Nick Fury.
Right. So the first one is to his first 2 sons' mother. Mm-hmm. And it's like him like acknowledging like, yo, I wasn't ready to be a band, you know, who you think I am and everything like that. And then I believe the second verse was to his father. Yeah, it was to his father.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like him like saying how he resented him, but then like accepting like, yo, being a parent shit is hard. Like I get it now.
Yeah.
And then the last verse, like I didn't realize it, but it was to his daughter because basically like when he had her, like he was in denial, like yo, it's my 3rd fucking kid, like what the fuck. And so like he wasn't as like, you know, nurturing to her as he should have been when she first came into the world. And to me, like that's like his song cry. You know what I'm saying? Because like it was just like him acknowledging like his faults and his wrongs, and like that was something that I thought was like really like honest and like cool for like an artist to do.
Yeah.
But yes, to the rating. If you ready, I'm ready to go. 4.5 waffles out of 5 for me for this project.
Okay. We have the exact same rating. This album was refreshing to revisit, man. I haven't heard it in years. It still holds up. None of the production, with the exception of the Jazzy Faye one, is a little dated. I just like that song because it is kind of just attached to good memories for me. But this album is almost completely flawless, and it's 16 songs.
It's 16 songs. The album's almost flawless, and it was recorded in the back of a hair salon. Think about that. Like, if you think about, like, when I was, like, doing my research, learning the story of this album, it's giving hustle and flow.
Yeah. It is giving hustle and flow. Holy shit. Yeah. It is. And
down to the beef with Ludacris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's crazy. And I think in this time frame, it really just speaks to the kind of artist that Tip became, man, because he put that shit all on the line. And the success of this was even sweeter because of that. I agree, 4.5. Yeah. I'm there with you. I think you guys should definitely check this album out, regardless of how you feel about Tip now as a rapper or as a social media person, whatever he's turned into, him having locks now, like him being a comedian, all of that shit. But just put all of that to the side, revisit this, give it an honest listen, let us know what you think. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, obviously. I'm First Class Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
And we're out of here, guys.
All right, catch you next time, guys. Dun dun.